From homeless to millionaire, the inspiring journey of a black man, Jamal shivered under the cold Brooklyn Bridge, the night biting into his skin like icy fingers. The rumble of cars above echoed down, honking horns and distant sirens leaving a restless symphony. Around him, shadows moved, figures blurred by city lights and the mist that never seemed to lift. This was his world now. No home, just concrete, cold breath, and the endless noise of a city that never stopped. Once, Jamal had a different life, a life full of promise. A smart kid from Queens, he dreamed big. Tech jobs, bright screens, building apps that would change the game. But dreams crash hard sometimes. One mistake, bad luck, and suddenly there's nothing left. His apartment gone. His job vanished. Friends turning away. Now he was just another face in the crowd. Eyes tired, hands shaky, heart full of anger and hope. The makeshift shelter beneath the bridge was battered. Cardboard soaked from last week's rain. A blanket too thin to hold warmth. Jamal rubbed his hands. The skin cracked and pink from the cold. Every night was a fight against the dark, the fear, and the screaming loneliness that clawed like a beast inside his chest. But Jamal wasn't done. Not yet. That night, as the city roared and flickered above, Jamal stumbled on something strange, half buried in a trash heap, blinking faintly under a pool of streetlight. A laptop. Sleek, heavy, covered in grime, but still alive. His breath caught. Yeah, it was busted, probably tossed out after some big company meltdown or a hacker's mess. But to Jamal, it was a miracle, a shot at a new start. Kneeling, hands trembling, he wiped the screen, his heart hammering like a drum. Could this thing really change everything? His fingers fumbled with the cracked keyboard, sparks of old skills coming back. Coding, fixing, hacking back into life. Maybe, just maybe, he could pull himself up from the dirt one more time. Then, suddenly, a chill ran down his spine. Not from the cold. A movement caught at the corner of his eye. Someone, lurking in the shadows beyond the flickering street lamp. Jamal stiffened, every muscle tight. Who was watching? A threat? A savior? Or just another mystery in the dark veins of this city? He glanced up. No words, just silence, thick and heavy. His chest tightened, breath shallow, pulse racing. This laptop wasn't just trash. It wasn't just a machine. It was carrying secrets, secrets worth hiding. And someone wanted to keep them buried. Jamal's hands paused above the keyboard. The night seemed to hold its breath with him. Was this blessing or curse? Hope or trap? The city's noise faded, replaced by the pounding in his ears, the shadow inching closer, and the truth still out of reach. What lay inside a laptop? Who stepped nearer in the dark? Only the night knew. Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important warning. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube has removed their subscriptions without warning. Just take a quick look at the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I don't want you to miss out on any exclusive content coming your way. And while you're there, leave that powerful like that helps me a lot with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know all the amazing people who are part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's interact. Jamal's hands hovered over the keyboard, each second stretching into eternity. The shadow drew closer. The figure defined now. A man, tall and sharp, his features hidden beneath a hood. Jamal's height thundered against his ribs. The air felt thick, almost electric. Who was this? His breath hitched, a mixture of fear and adrenaline. But then the man stepped into the light, revealing a familiar face. It was Marcus, a friend from his old days, a brother from the block, a guy who once shared dreams of tech startups and endless possibilities. Jamal's breath caught. Marcus? Is that you? The look on Marcus's face was unreadable. Panic, anger, or maybe regret? Jamal couldn't tell. He felt a rush of emotions. Joy, confusion, and then dread. This wasn't the reunion he'd wished for. Jamal, Marcus said, his voice low, almost a whisper. We need to talk now. What's going on? Jamal asked, his fingers nervously tapping against the laptop. What are you doing here? Then came the silence. A weight of secrets hung between them, thick as fog. Marcus glanced around, as if the shadows themselves were listening. He stepped closer, his tone urgent. You have to get rid of that laptop. Why? Jamal felt a pang of betrayal. This was his chance, his lifeline. It's broken, and I think I can fix it. This? Stop, Marcus hissed, eyes darting. You don't know what you're messing with. Jamal's heart sank. What do you mean? The data, Marcus breathed. It's not just code. It's dangerous. Dangerous? What? How? The streetlights flickered overhead, casting eerie shadows that danced around them. Jamal's mind raced. He thought about everything he'd been through, how hard he'd fought to keep his dreams alive beneath this bridge. Was this what hope looked like? Was it just an illusion? Marcus sighed, the lines on his face deeper now, eyes haunted. You remember that tech project we worked on at the startup? The one everyone said was groundbreaking? Of course, Jamal replied, confused. We were supposed to revolutionize secure data storage. But it didn't work out. We lost everything. Exactly, Marcus said, voice trembling. But that project wasn't just a failure. It was stolen. The tech, the core algorithms, they are in that laptop, Jamal. Shock ripped through Jamal. Memories flashed, hushed meetings, late nights coding, questions without answers. It felt as if the ground had opened beneath him. Stolen? By who? A scream echoed in the distance, breaking the tension. Marcus glanced over his shoulder, panic tightening his features. The people who took it don't play games. They're dangerous, and they're looking for that laptop. You can't just sit here with it. The gravity of the moment hit Jamal. This wasn't just his life at stake. It was something much bigger. A battle for something that could disrupt powerful forces. Then what do I do? I have a plan, Marcus said, his voice steady now, full of determination. But we need to act fast. They're already on to us. Jamal dared to look back at the laptop, fear mingling with a flicker of hope. He was really in it now, deeper than he'd ever imagined. A war was brewing, and he stood at the very edge. Before he could say another word, a siren blared nearby, lights flashing in the distance. The world blurred into chaos as they turned, adrenaline kicking in. But Jamal could feel it. The weight of old dreams collided with new dangers. Nothing would be the same after tonight. And deep down, one question gnawed at him. What other secrets lay buried in the chaos ahead? Jamal and Marcus turned to run, adrenaline flooding their veins. The sirens shrieked closer, lights flashing, cutting through the darkness. Panic clawed at Jamal's insides. This was it. He could feel the weight of the laptop strapped to his back, heavy with the burden it carried. They had to move. "Into the alley!" Marcus shouted, pulling Jamal toward a narrow gap between two buildings. They ducked inside, hearts racing, breaths coming in sharp gasps. The clamor of the city faded into a dull roar as they pressed against the damp brick wall, trying to blend into the shadows. "What did you mean by dangerous?" Jamal panted, eyes scanning every corner for threats. He needed answers. More than ever, he was terrified of what lay within that laptop. But before Marcus could reply, the world pitched on its axis. A thundering bang echoed through the alley. Jamal jumped, his heart leaping into his throat. What the hell was that? "Stay down!" Marcus hissed, eyes wide, scanning for the danger. Then it happened. A figure emerged from the mouth of the alleyway, silhouetted against the blinding lights of the street. But it wasn't just anyone. It was a woman. Her face half-shadowed, but the recognition hit like a slap. It was Tara, Jamal's former business partner, the one he never wanted to see again. "What the? Tara?" he gasped, disbelief mixing with dread. "What are you doing here?" "Jamal!" Her voice was a mixture of relief and urgency. "You have to listen to me. They're after you and me. It's about the laptop." Jamal's stomach twisted. "You? What do you know about this?" Before she could respond, a dark SUV screeched to a halt at the alley's entrance. Every instinct screamed at them to run. But Tara stepped toward the vehicle, waving her hands frantically. "They're coming for the data. Everyone's going to be in danger if we don't act fast. We're in this together." Jamal's mind spun. Wasn't she the reason everything had fallen apart? A betrayal he couldn't shake? Yet there she was, desperate, scared, but not alone. "Get down!" Marcus shouted as two men jumped out of the SUV, dark suits blending with the night. They pulled out weapons, and Jamal's heart plummeted. "Wait!" Tara shouted again, hands raised, freezing everyone in awkward tension. "I can help you." "Help?" Marcus sneered. "You ditched us. You walked away when things got tough." Tara's eyes flickered, hurt tracing her features. "I had to. You know that. But I'll fix it. I swear it." A moment of silence stretched out, thick enough to choke on. The men advanced, focus shifting to the three of them. Panic surged in the air, crackling like electricity. This was bad. "That data isn't just dangerous," she continued, urgency spilling over. "It holds everything. The truth about what they're doing, it's bigger than all of us." "Bigger than revenge?" Jamal spat, furious. "You think this is a free pass?" But shock hit harder than any anger. Tara's next words dropped like a bomb. "Because I'm the one who set you up to take the fall for the theft. I thought I'd save you. Thought it would be easier if I didn't drag you down with me." Every pulse in Jamal's body turned to ice. You what?" It struck him hard, a tidal wave of betrayal crashing down. All the signs he'd missed carved lines of anguish on his heart. This was deeper than a fight for survival. It was a reckoning. Suddenly, the men lunged, chaos erupting, shouts filling the air. Jamal turned to Marcus, terror in his eyes. "Now what?" Tara stayed rooted to the spot, watching Jamal, searching, for something. Trust? He could feel the darkness closing in, confusion twisted inside him. Could he trust her? Or was this her way of dragging him into the abyss? As the agents closed in, weapons raised, Jamal felt the crushing weight of choices crashing down around him. What would they choose? Would the truth free them or bury them deep? And amid the turmoil, just one thought took hold. In this new dark, who truly was the enemy? Only the night knew. The chaos boiled over in an instant. A mix of shouts and the sound of heavy footsteps filled the air. The two men lunged forward, but Tara moved, stepping between Jamal, Marcus, and the advancing threat. "Wait!" She raised her hands again, pleading with urgency. "I can help," but the men were relentless, their expressions grim, focused. A sense of dread washed over Jamal. He shot a look at Marcus, heart pounding. "What do we do?" "Just follow my lead," Marcus barked, pushing Jamal closer to the shadows. But before they could bolt, Tara screamed, "No!" She grabbed Jamal's arm, her eyes wide with something he never expected to see: fear. In that split second, the world twisted. A blinding flash erupted from deeper in the alley. A burst of light and sound erupted, ravenous as it consumed the darkness. Jamal's breath caught in his throat. Time froze. The air turned electric, the ground vibrating beneath him. Then he saw it. A figure hurtling toward them through the smoke and dust. A man, arms flailing, face lit with madness. "They're coming!" he yelled. "Get away!" Before Jamal could comprehend the warning, a series of gunshots rang out. The scene exploded into disarray. Bodies dropped, a powerful thud echoing in the confined space. The figures in the dark suits were falling. Tara stumbled back in shock, eyes pinned on the chaos, fate dangling by a thread. Then everything turned dark. Jamal felt a weight hit him, shoving him back against the wall. He gasped, trying to comprehend what he just witnessed. Who was the man? What just happened? A gurgling sound filled the air. Tara was hit, her expression morphing into horror as blood blossomed across her shirt. "No, Tara!" Jamal shrieked, reaching for her. The world narrowed to a single point of chaos. "Jamal, she stammered, pain lacing her voice. Her eyes fluttered, lost in a sea of worry and terror. "You have to get rid of the laptop. They're..." But she fell silent, fingers going limp in his grip. Panic erupted in Jamal's chest. He felt his heart racing like a trapped animal. "Tara, stay with me!" Then the air shifted again. More movement caught his eye. The man from before surged forward, alive and unscathed, his face a mask of determination. "Come on! We have to go! Now!" Jamal's instincts kicked in. With Tara gone, it hammered home, the reality lingering in the air. This wasn't just about life and death anymore. The threat was too close, too real. But part of him tugged at the remnants of sorrow, and the betrayal surged anew. "Who are you?" Jamal demanded, the anger fueling every word. "What did you do?" "Not now," the man shouted, grabbing Jamal's forearm, urgency pouring off him. "You're not safe here. We need to move." Fear clawed at Jamal's throat, but he had to trust someone. He looked back at Marcus, uncertainty in his eyes. What happened to Tara? "She knew too much," the man spat, urgency edging his words, eyes darting. "And now they know you. You need to take the laptop. Everything hinges on it." Just then, the echo of approaching sirens sliced through the alley. Lights flickered in the distance, more chaos on the horizon. Sleepless shadows morphed with lights of impending doom. "Come on!" the man shouted, pulling Jamal with him. Marcus took off, adrenaline propelling him forward. "You're running out of time." But Jamal hesitated, weighing everything that just occurred. The world felt like it was spinning out of control. Tara's face haunted his thoughts. "Wait," he gasped. "I need to know. What else are you hiding?" In that moment, the truth sank in, deeper than betrayal. What if everything Jamal believed was woven into a deeper web of lies? The world turned dark again. It was more than a fight for survival now. It was about uncovering secrets buried in bloodshed and sacrifice. The path ahead twisted into uncertainty, shadows lingering at every corner. What was he walking into? Only the night had the answers. Jamal felt the weight of uncertainty pressing down on him, his heart racing like a runaway train. The man dragged him deeper into the alley, feet pounding against the concrete. Marcus shot him a frantic glance, urgency etched on his face. They weren't safe yet. The shadows loomed larger. The night, no longer just a veil, but a choking grip around them. "Who are you?" Jamal demanded again, every syllable laced with suspicion. "Why should we trust you?" "Because time is running out." The man's voice was tight, his eyes wild with fear. "You don't understand what's happening." But just as Jamal opened his mouth to protest, a loud crash echoed behind them. Glass shattered, followed by the deafening roar of machinery as a drone swooped above. "Look out!" Marcus shouted. The drone buzzed like an angry hornet, a spotlight swinging across their faces. Panic surged through Jamal as he ducked instinctively. The machine's lenses shone down, illuminating the alley with harsh light, pinning them under its gaze. "Keep moving!" the man yelled, pulling Jamal forward. But in that moment, as they rounded a corner, Jamal saw something that stopped him cold. A group of men, dressed in the same dark suits, converged at the side of the alley, weapons drawn. No escape. They were cornered. "Look, we can fight," Marcus breathed, eyes darting around for an exit, but the fear was palpable, thick enough to sink into their bones. Jamal could feel the walls closing in, the weight of the laptop serving as a reminder of the hell they had unwittingly stepped into. "Not now," the man insisted. "The truth is more dangerous than you know." "Ah, tell us then." Jamal shot back, his voice raw with desperation. "What truth?" But before any answer could come, the man hesitated, his expression faltering. Jamal noticed a flicker of recognition cross his face. He stepped back, wide eyes locked on the figures approaching. "No, it can't be. Who is it?" Jamal pressed, confusion mounting with every passing second. Just then, the drone dove lower, its microphone picking up sounds, buzzing loudly in the silence. "We have a visual." A cold, mechanized voice echoed from the device. The troops flinched, and Jamal's throat went dry. Then, from the darkness, a figure emerged. Someone he never expected to see. Ava, his sister. The very person he believed was living miles away, safely out of this nightmare. "Avar?" he gasped, disbelief clawing at his insides. "What are you doing here?" She held her hands up, her eyes glistening under the harsh drone light. "Jamal, you need to listen to me." "No!" he cried, heart sinking. "You were supposed to be safe. What are you doing with them?" "They're not the enemy," she shouted, frustration spilling out. "I am." "The project?" "It was my idea. I set it all up. I didn't want this to happen, but—" Shock slammed into him like a freight train. "You? You did this? You put us all in danger?" Betrayal twisted inside him, fresh and raw. "How could you?" "I was trying to protect you," she pleaded, desperation filling her tone. "The data in that laptop holds evidence of illegal surveillance tools. I thought you could help me expose them. But before she could finish, the men in suits moved in, blocking their path. Panic surged anew. The world around Jamal whipped into chaos. There was no escape. Jamal! Ava's voice broke through the storm of dread. Trust me, we can stop them. But he didn't know what to believe anymore. His family, his friends, all mixed in this tangled nightmare. Each heartbeat echoed a question louder than the last. Was anyone truly on his side? The drone hummed ominously above, amplifying the tension as it hovered, ready to capture every moment, every betrayal, every truth finally clawing to the surface. As the suits advanced, Jamal's mind raced, caught between trusting his sister or running from an unseen enemy. And just as he opened his mouth to decide, an explosion shook the ground beneath them, rattling their bones, scattering the shadows, leaving everything hanging in volatile silence. What had they awakened? Only the night had the answer. The explosion rattled through the alley, sending debris skittering across the ground like a furious windstorm. Jamal blinked, his ears ringing, heart pounding. The world spun around him, confusion mingling with fear. Ava's face twisted in shock as she backed away from the advancing men in suits. "Jamal, we have to move!" Marcus shouted, but the urgency was drowned out by the booming chaos. A bright flash lit the darkness, blinding him briefly. He stumbled back, instinctively clutching the laptop tighter, a lifeline amidst the turmoil. Suddenly, the men froze. Their eyes widened, and Jamal saw something that made his stomach drop. A flicker of recognition. It wasn't just fear. It was fear mixed with something else. Then, as if pulled by an invisible force, they turned and bolted in the opposite direction, scrambling away like roaches scurrying from a light. "Wait! What just happened?" Jamal gasped. The moment was surreal, too bizarre to grasp. Ava stepped forward, her voice shaky. They saw something. They recognized him. Recognized who? Jamal's heart raced, confusion tightening his chest. "The man who saved you." Her eyes darted back to the figure still standing in the shadows. He's with them." Jamal turned slowly, dread creeping up his spine. The man, the stranger who had shouted for them to run, stood erect, a smirk creeping across his face. It morphed into a gleeful grin as he stepped forward into the light. "Surprise, everyone!" His voice dripped with mockery. "I must say, this reunion is sweeter than I imagined." In that instant, the pieces began to snap into focus, revealing the chilling picture. It was like wading through murky waters, trying to grasp something solid that slipped away every time he thought he had it. "Wait, you!" Jamal stammered, mouth dry. "You're one of them." "Indeed I am, but you're the one who's not getting it." His laughter echoed, a twisted sound that sent chills through Jamal. "You've been so busy playing the victim, you didn't even realize you're part of something much bigger." "That laptop? It was always destined for you, just like your sister didn't just stumble upon it. She's been playing both sides from the beginning." "What?" Jamal's voice was a whisper, disbelief crashing over him like a tidal wave. He turned to Ava, desperate for clarification. "Is this true?" She opened her mouth, words caught between fear and anguish. "It's not what you think." "He's right," the man cut her off. smiling cruelly. "That data was never stolen. It was given, like a present, wrapped in deceit, handpicked to fulfill a prophecy only the two of you could complete." "No," Jamal muttered, shaking his head. "You can't be serious." "Deadly serious. This is bigger than you can imagine. And now," he leaned closer, eyes gleaming with excitement, "now we're at the finale but climax of this tale. You're key players in a game that could shift everything." A knot twisted in Jamal's gut as reality shattered around him. Ava's trusted face twisted and shifted in his mind, never feeling solid. "Is it true? Were you ever on my side?" Her voice faltered, and the tremor in her eyes spoke volumes, drowning him in doubt. Then he saw it, flickering in the shadows. A flash of eyes, another figure watching from a far corner, and it all spiraled. He stumbled back, the horrifying realization settling like a weight upon his chest. "Someone else is pulling the strings," he breathed, eyes wide. "Precisely," the man smirked. "And you've only just opened Pandora's box. Now it's showtime." As everything swirled into chaos once more, underpinned with betrayal and darkness, one thing rang clear in Jamal's mind. What had he unknowingly stepped into? Only the night knew the answers that awaited. The air crackled with tension. Jamal felt it in his bones, as though everything around him was about to snap. Ava's eyes pleaded, but doubt twisted in Jamal's gut. "You've been playing both sides?" His voice shook. "Stop!" the man interrupted, glancing nervously at the drone hovering above. "This isn't the time for family drama." But Jamal couldn't tear his gaze from Ava. "You used me," he whispered, the betrayal tasting bitter on his tongue. "I had my reasons," she shot back, desperation rising. "I thought you'd be safe away from this mess." The man's smirk tightened. "Safe? There's no safety left for any of you." Suddenly the world lurched, sending shivers down Jamal's spine. Without warning, a loud crash echoed from the entrance of the alley. The sound reverberated like thunder. Jamal spun around, fear pinching his heart. Glancing over his shoulder, he saw figures rushing at them, more suited men, flanking them from all sides. All at once, it turned into a nightmare. "Run!" Marcus yelled, shoving Jamal toward a side exit. They barreled past the chaos, the drone buzzing angrily above, and voices raised in alarm. But as they gained speed, something heavy thudded to the ground beside them with an unsettling thump. They skidded to a stop. Jamal's pulse raced as he knelt to look. A small metallic object, a device of sorts, lay there blinking ominously. He recognized it instantly. A bomb. No! The realization hit like a punch to the gut. It's a trap! Panic surged through the group as they backed away, the gravity of the situation crashing down around them. But the man only laughed, cold and confident. "It's never been about the laptop, Jamal. It's about you being the distraction while they handle the real prize. And now it's time for you to face the truth." Before Jamal could comprehend, a deafening boom erupted, knocking him to the ground. Heat washed over him, followed by a rush of dust and debris. The force threw him into a wall, pain exploding across his shoulder. Silence enveloped the alley, thick and suffocating. Jamal blinked, trying to clear his head, confusion battling the haze of shock. Lifting his head, he saw Ava sprawled on the ground, Marcus trying to help her up, and the man was nowhere in sight. "Get up!" Marcus screamed, voice strained. "We have to go!" But Jamal's thoughts swirled. What did he just witness? The weight of the laptop felt like a lead anchor. He pushed himself to his feet, but a dizzying wave pulled him down again. His eyes darted around. "Ava!" She coughed, blood trickling from her mouth. "Jamal, I didn't want you to know." "What?" His voice caught in his throat as the realization crashed down. "Know what?" "That," she gasped, desperation in her eyes. "I'm not who you think I am." Panic surged through him, but in that moment he felt something shift. Ava reached into her pocket, pulling out a small flash drive. "This holds everything. The truth about our parents, the project, everything we fought for. You need to take it." He stared at the drive, realization dawning. It felt like a riddle wrapped in chaos. "What truth?" "I can't explain now," she gasped again, pain dancing across her features. "Just trust me. They'll come for you. They'll come for us all." Just then, they heard footsteps, more approaching figures, shadows melding into the light. Jamal's heartbeat quickened, every instinct screaming at him to run. "We need to go now!" But as they turned to escape, the glaring lights of the drone flickered back on, and out from the shadows stepped the man again. Only this time, he had a gun aimed right at them. "Thought we were done?" he taunted, eyes gleaming with a dark satisfaction. "You're all too late. You have no idea what's coming. And Jamal, your sister isn't the only one with secrets." At that moment, an explosion erupted from behind him, a blinding flash followed by a shower of debris. Jamal's world flipped upside down. In the confusion, he felt the heat next to him and turned just in time to see Ava fall to the ground, eyes wide in horror. "No!" Jamal screamed, rushing toward her, but shock froze his feet in place. And as the dust settled, all he could see was the chaos spreading, everything spiraling out of control. What had just happened? Were they truly caught in something far beyond understanding? Only the night had the answer, and the darkness felt heavier than ever. The ground shook as the explosion echoed around them. Jamal blinked, struggling to clear the haze of shock from his mind. He could see Ava sprawled on the ground, her breath shallow and uneven. Fear gripped him, crushing his chest as he crawled to her side, ready to scream for help. "Ava, stay with me!" Panic clawed at his throat. She needed to be okay. But the drone loomed above, its spotlight glaring down, casting long, eerie shadows. It felt like the whole world held its breath. Marcus pulled Jamal back, his grip like steel. "We have to go!" But Jamal couldn't tear his eyes away. Ava's eyes flickered, a mix of pain and something else, something that sent a shiver through him. "Jamal, I didn't want it to end like this," she gasped, blood pooling beneath her. "No!" His voice cracked, heart pounding against his ribs. "He can't! Not now!" Then everything shifted. The light from the drone reflected against the walls of the alley, illuminating the horrifying scene. That's when it happened. The ground trembled again, but this time it was different. A low rumble, growing louder, shaking the air, sent everyone into chaos. From the shadows, a massive figure emerged, dark and imposing. Dressed in a dark suit, he took a step forward, revealing an unmistakable face. It was not just another enemy. It was Mr. Thompson, the CEO of the company behind the project. Jamal's old boss, the man who once towered over him in the boardroom, and the last person he expected to see here. Mr. Thompson? His voice was barely a whisper, disbelief washing over him. Why was he here? Ah, Jamal, such a pleasure to see you again, though I must admit, I expected a different scenario. His voice dripped with smugness as he surveyed the chaotic scene. But I see you've come into some interesting developments. Get away from us, Marcus shouted, pushing Jamal back. But Mr. Thompson was unbothered, his presence overshadowing the panic. Suddenly, Ava sprang back to life, eyes wide with a bright glimmer of recognition. "You know him?" she croaked, struggling against the pain. "Of course he does," Mr. Thompson smoked. "I see you finally caught on. It was all part of the grand plan. You, me, your project, the laptop, everything led back to this moment." Confusion flooded through Jamal, twisting tighter. "What are you talking about?" Then the truth struck him like a lightning bolt. "Wait, were you behind the theft? The project disappearing? This whole thing?" "Bravo!" Thompson clapped slowly, mocking. "You're sharper than I gave you credit for. You see, I orchestrated it all. Your sister here, a puppet dancing on strings, blinded by ambition. She didn't just join in, she was instrumental to the plan." Jamal's breath hitched. "No, Ava, is this true?" Pain flickered in her eyes, but she nodded, tears spilling down her cheeks. "I thought it was for the right reasons. I thought I was helping you." The betrayal cut deeper than any wound. "You set me up. You used me." Suddenly, the sirens blared louder, getting closer. Thompson stepped back, a devilish grin on his face. "Time's up. You have two choices. Join me or be left behind. Either way, this is just the beginning." Then, as quickly as he appeared, he vanished into the swirling chaos, his expression shadowed by the chaos. Jamal felt the very ground quake beneath him. It didn't just shake, it split apart. "What's happening?" he yelled over the din. But as thick smoke erupted from the cracks in the earth, swallowing the alley whole, he realized the night wasn't done with him yet. "Jamal, we have to go." Marcus tugged at his arm, panic igniting every nerve in Jamal's body. But amid the fear and confusion, one question throbbed in his mind. Where the hell had they really stepped into? The truth felt heavier than ever, revealing a labyrinth of betrayals and secrets that made everything else pale. And as the alley collapsed around them, the night whispered of more chaos to come. The ground trembled, sending vibrations through Jamal's body. He fought to stand, pain creeping into his chest. But Ava lay still. Panic cut through him like a knife. "Ava, please." He struggled against Marcus's grip, desperation clawing at his throat. "Jamal, we have to go." Marcus shouted, the urgency in his voice wrapping around him like a chain. The drone circled above, bright beams slicing through the dust, a predator searching for prey. But Jamal couldn't leave Ava. A lump formed in his throat. What if she's... Before he could finish, the world turned upside down. The sound of screeching tires erupted around them, and a black SUV skidded to a halt at the mouth of the alley. The door flung open, and another figure appeared, silhouetted against the blinding headlights. From the vehicle, a woman stepped out, tall, fierce, her dark hair streaming behind her like a flag. Jamal felt a chill crawl up his spine as recognition hit him hard. "Sarah!" he gasped, his former boss's right-hand woman. What was she doing here? "Get down!" she shouted, making her way toward them, her voice sharp as shattered glass. "I've come to get you out, but we don't have much time." Jamal felt a flicker of hope, but confusion clouded it. "Why are you helping us?" "Less talking, more moving." She pointed at Ava, urgency etched on her face. "Is she okay?" "Yes, but..." "No! Now!" Without waiting for a response, Sarah rushed forward, scooping Ava into her arms like she weighed nothing. A surge of power flowed through Jamal. Who was this woman? But when Sarah turned back, her expression morphed from urgency to horror. "What did you do?" she shrieked, eyes wide, darting toward the shadowy figure that had been watching them. "You set this in motion." "What are you talking about?" Jamal shouted, confusion melting into rage. "How did you even know we were in trouble?" Just then, the air crackled with tension, and the distant wail of sirens grew louder. But beneath the chaos, a chilling truth flickered through Jamal's mind. Sarah may have known more than she was letting on. Before he could push her for answers, the shadowy figure returned. The man from before stepped out of the haze of smoke, still grinning, but there was something darker in his eyes. "Oh, Sarah, you should have stayed away. Who are you?" Jamal demanded, bile rising in his throat. But Sarah didn't answer. Instead, she pulled something from her coat, a small control panel. "I didn't expect you to come back, but now it's time to end this." "What? What are you doing?" Panic rose in Jamal's gut like a crescendo. The ground beneath them trembled again. This time, a low hum filled the air, vibrating through Jamal's bones. The drone overhead intensified, its spotlight flickering erratically. "Stand back!" Sarah commanded as the drone whirred, shifting gears. Everyone froze. An explosion erupted, bright and fierce, but it didn't come from the alley. It resonated from the control panel, releasing a blinding flash of white light that flooded the space. Jamal shielded his eyes, heart racing. "What have you done?" Amidst the chaos, Sarah glanced back at him, her face a mask of iron. What had to be done? The truth was always darker than you knew, Jamal. This is just the beginning. And then everything changed. The light enveloped them, shadows flickering, shapes shifting. Jamal's breath caught as he glanced at Ava. Her eyes widened, and in that fleeting moment, everything spiraled into oblivion. The very ground they stood on splintered like glass, and with an earth-shattering roar, it opened up beneath them. As they fell, panic surged, and the last thing Jamal saw was Sarah's twisted smile before the darkness swallowed them whole. What had they unleashed? Only the night knew the truth they once thought they understood. The world before Jamal faded into darkness. He felt the hard ground vanish beneath him, and a rush of air engulfed him. Everything stopped. No sound, no movement, just emptiness. Then he fell, hard, the impact jolted him back into reality. He gasped, scrambling to rise, vision blurred. Around him, the alley had transformed into a dimly lit chamber, walls lined with flickering lights and ominous shadows. "Where are we?" he muttered, confusion twisting in his gut. Ava lay nearby, eyes fluttering. "Jamal!" Her voice was weak, barely above a whisper, laced with pain. "Is it over?" He rushed to her side, trembling hands cradling her cheek. "No! Stay with me!" Panic suffused his voice. "We're going to get you out." Sarah, closer than ever, snapped her attention to them. "I've got to finish this," she said, urgency coating her words. "I need to wipe that data clean and—" "Wipe it?" Jamal interrupted, heart pounding. "Why? It's ours. It shows everything. It shows too much." Sarah shot back, eyes wild. "You don't understand. We can't be caught with that evidence. They'll hunt you down." "No!" he howled, gaze darting from Ava's pale face to Sarah's frantic movements. "Ava, don't you trust her?" "I don't know," Ava gasped. Pain etched across her features. As if summoned, the stark shadows shifted, revealing the man in the suit, wearing that same smirk that twisted Jamal's gut. "Did we interrupt something?" Such a heartfelt moment. Bile rose in Jamal's throat. "What do you want?" "Only what's rightfully mine." The man stepped closer, glancing disdainfully at Ava. "She's even more of a liability than I thought." Before Jamal could respond, another loud crash echoed as more suits surged into the room. Modern figures of chaos, guns drawn, moving with precision. "Run!" Sarah yelled, adrenaline shimmying down Jamal's spine. He grabbed Ava, causing her to groan from the sudden movement. But the urgency pierced through the haze. Cries rang out. "Get them!" Jamal's heart raced. They pushed forward, weaving through tangled shadows and dodging hands that reached out from the dork. Every step felt like a battle, his chest tight with fear. The weight of the laptop was a constant reminder of everything at stake. Every twist and turn led to uncertain pathways, but they fled as instinct urged them on. In the turmoil, Jamal spotted a flicker of familiarity. "Marcus, over here!" "Keep moving," Marcus shouted, pulling the trio through hidden avenues that felt alive with anguish and desperation. They stumbled into a hollow room, walls vibrating with muffled voices. A moment of respite twisted into despair as the men stormed in. "You really think you can escape?" the leading suit barked, eyes narrowing. Without a thought, Sarah whipped around, her control panel sparking like a lit fuse. "If this works, it'll wipe everything, right here, right now." Just then, the noise escalated, more footsteps and shouting. Jamal's heart thudded harder. "Do it! Quickly!" A flash lit the room, sending shadows spiraling, illuminating their faces one last time, filled with determination and fear. As Sarah activated the device, time slowed. Jamal felt that familiar rush of hope, tinged with the dread of losing everything. "Here we go!" she yelled as the lights flickered, the air crackling alive. And then, silence. Time stood still. Darkness pressing in. Jamal's breath hitched. What now? Had it worked? Slowly, he opened his eyes, wishing he could cast the shadows away. The whispers of the moment hung heavy in the air, but moments extended into eternity, stretching his patience. Ava reached for him, eyes glistening with uncertainty. "Jamal, are we free?" The dim light began to return, revealing their surroundings. The confusion was impossibly thick. "We can still fight," Marcus urged, pressing against the weight of doubt. "We can still save ourselves." But Jamal stood frozen, his mind racing. What would freedom truly mean? The shadows lingered, echoing with memories. Then a distant sound broke through, a siren wailing, calling them back into the surrender of reality. And with that sound, a choice echoed in the air. Which path to take? Suddenly, a voice murmured from the darkness. "You need to choose wisely. The night holds many secrets." Jamal felt the weight of uncertainty hanging in the balance. He looked at his friends, at Ava's eyes filled with hope and fear. What awaited them beyond this moment? Only the night knew. Now, listen up. You must subscribe right now to ensure you don't miss out on all the exclusive stories coming your way. This is the moment to show your support. Smash that like button. Do it now to feed the algorithm and help us grow. And be a part of this journey by flooding the comments section with your thoughts, reactions, and theories about the finale. Don't wait 1 second longer to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to know this ending. Be part of our community and keep the excitement alive.